What's up, everybody? Gonna let the crowd build up. Tonight's guest, Matt Monday and the 4piston racing crew. I already know that we got Luke and Josh. I think some other guys from their crew are with them. We're gonna let them get in here. We will start this interview. Here we go. Give us 1 second. We got Monday already in there. He's joining up now. Boom. Perfect.
What's up?
And you can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's nice when the Wi-Fi is working good.
Hell yeah. You got a nice little setup there. Where you at?
I'm in my saucy office. It's a
sauce cave
setup. This is where I stock all my shirts.
Oh yeah.
I got these new shirts. Got a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Of
I like those greens.
Yeah, the green one is fresh. I got them coming in soon. Green shirts. They look great in the video, but
I'll have to pick a medium up. You got mediums yet?
Not yet. They'll be in this week. I'm waiting for a big order of them. Some new stickers that I have, and I put a request in for hoodies. So hoodies are coming for World Cup.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Shit. So it's been like a week and a half. Has it set in yet? I know you've been carrying the trophy around a lot. But
yeah.
Videos.
Yeah,
Some of
it's
those
set in
videos.
there. Probably after we got home, it's just so busy and hectic, you know. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, I was feeling the number one qualifier more than anything.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got loaded up and stuff, then it really set in. I was like, fuck yeah, that really just happened.
So I was gonna tell you like 5 minutes ago when I had just spoken to you, but I figured I'd save it for right when we get on here. I know it's OGS has not released the top 10 list modified yet because I know I'm not employed by them, but I've looked at it and I'm sure you've looked at it. And you're in the 4 spot.
I thought 5.
You're 959, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie Marsh was in there with a 9.5. We'll check now. You think it's 5?
I think it's 5.
I have to double check.
I'll take yours. I'll take yours.
Now you're making me question it. Like I was like, I just checked this right before I talked to you guys.
Yeah.
I have to double check, but I either way, top 5 is still.
Oh yeah.
Where were you before it?
I was like 8th.
Now I got to double check. I thought I had this all figured out. I even wrote it down.
I think we initially got on the list 8th, and then we went faster, but then everybody went faster at last year's H Day, last fall H Day.
Oh,
everybody
right.
stepped up, and we stayed at like 8th.
Yeah, you are 5th. I fucked up.
5th. Okay.
My bad.
Damn it.
You know why? You know why? You know what happened? I looked at the list that Jamie wasn't on.
Oh, okay. The old list.
Yeah, remember when it came out and then they adjusted it? That's where I messed up. I looked at the list when they put Jamie down lower. All right, so yeah, you're in the 5th spot, which is pretty cool. It doesn't bump anyone off the list either. Jake Avio's still the gatekeeper at 10, which is cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we need somebody new on the list to bump anybody off. It's just the same guys shuffling around right now.
Yep, exactly. But
There's
I think
a lot of guys coming out.
I was gonna say, I think with the class count that you guys have produced lately at the last couple of events has been pretty good. It's crazy the turnaround that happened from last year to this year.
Yeah. Well, remember, we initially built this car as a budget car to try and help the class out.
I was gonna say,
what was that? A year? What was it, a year ago?
Yeah. And you didn't come out blazing or nothing. You know, it took this. Is that 959 your personal best anywhere?
54.
54 at the.
54 at 142.
Okay.
Yeah, at IFO.
So we can mark that question off the list. Yeah, man. There's a lot to discuss because as much as I feel like your popularity has grown tremendously in the last year. I still feel like it's just that. It's just Instagram. You know, people haven't had much of a chance unless they come up to you at the event and get to meet you. But not everyone always has that chance. So
yeah.
I guess we're just gonna start right at the top here, man. Like, what did you do to get into racing? Like what made you want to race, drag race specifically, I guess?
Drag race specifically? Well,
or I mean, it could be other racing that brought you
yeah.
to drag racing, but.
Well, I initially started off in autocrossing. Actually, my dad was an autocrosser. He when I was really young, he raced like a Dodge Colt and was like a national champion at that.
Oh wow!
Or maybe it was he had a Civic too. I forget which one it was. But anyway, they started this Formula Junior, which was go-karts, and I was like me and my brother were like one of the first couple to be running in that class when they started it. So that's how I really got my start in racing in general. And it was basically, we would bring our own competition to the track. It'd be me and my brother, and we'd be 1 and 2 every weekend. And it was like separated by tenths of hundreds, like real tight racing.
This was drag racing?
This is go-karts. Autocross.
Oh, so not circle track. It was
no.
A course.
Yeah, it was like cones in a parking lot. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we did that for a few years, and then I got into wheel-to-wheel kart racing, but only did that for a year, and basically just ran out of money. I was like fresh out of high school, like couldn't afford it.
So you were like before 20s roughly.
Yeah. And then I started building the Dodge Neon because my dad would autocross the Dodge Neon, and that's kind of was the easiest thing to get a hold of at that time. I wanted a Civic, but it was going to save me a lot of money to just go ahead and take the Neon.
Yeah.
And I started building that over the years whenever I was, like 20, 21, 22 age. And then that's when I met Josh. I met Josh at a business called Stewart Engines. And I went to them to have my motor built. And he worked there at the time. And I had my engine built by him. And then ended up getting a job with him. I was working construction at that point, like just making money, 9 to 5 shit. Actually, way more than 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting a job with him and took a huge pay cut and all that shit just because that's what I wanted to do, like.
Bullshit.
And then so at that point, the Neon was just like a street car. And after talking with Josh, he convinced me that like drag racing was the way to go. And they were building their Pro Insight at that point.
Gotcha.
They hadn't finished it.
Yeah.
And so I got slicks and started drag racing the Neon and just loved it. Like it was already just like a street car. It made 500 horsepower when I went there.
So you've known Josh over 10 years easily. How old are you now?
Yeah, I'm 33 now.
33. I'm 32.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you've known Josh a long time. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Very
and
cool.
I've been helping them with their Insight all the time. Like maybe some of the OGs at the track probably recognize me, not on social stuff or anything like that. None of these people probably recognize me, but I've been going to the track with them for a decade. No joke. Yeah.
I mean,
definitely not overnight.
So I see Rainey just commented Dodge Neon for life. The Dodge Neon was once the sport front wheel drive record holder. Before anyone clowns on a Neon too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the employees there at Sean's used to work for Daryl Cox.
Yeah.
So that's like my Neon brother right there. He's got a Mopar tattoo on his fucking neck.
The guy at Rainey?
Yeah, the guy that works with Rainey.
Oh,
yeah.
What's his name?
He's probably in here. I forget his name. I'm bad with names.
Yeah. I recognize you, bro. What up, wizard? Might have been it. Man. So you've been involved in some form of racing. It sounds like since you were even a little kid, if your dad was racing. Before you've been around wrenches, tools, the whole travel.
It's funny though because I was always a driver. I was never a wrench. I was never a mechanic. I only started wrenching because I wanted to drive cool shit, and the only way to do that was to build it myself. Yeah. I was not like when I got hired on at Stewart Engines with Josh. I didn't even know how to torque a bolt. I didn't know shit. Somehow I got the car put together, but I just put it together because I wanted to drive. Like I'm a driver through and through.
Skinny guy.
That's my passion.
Yeah. Yeah. What would your dream car be to drive or race? Like, is there like a level that, like, would you race NHRA if that was
dude, to be honest, I kind of am right there. to be racing at the top level of import all motor, like, that's it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is where I've always kind of dreamed I wanted to be.
Do you find it hard to do that with the area you're from? Like, do you find that obviously there's not as many people interested in import Honda drag racing in Indy as there is in New Jersey?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I guess it's got to be different, to have that passion is kind of odd, right, for your area. And then
absolutely, yeah. There's nobody else. Well, there's a handful doing what we're doing, but not like, they've tried to put import events here in Indy, and they've always just kind of flopped. Like, nobody shows up, and so it is an odd thing that we've created here.
You guys got PRI though.
We do. We get PRI. We can
you get the biggest party of the year.
Yeah. We can get hammered drunk and drive home.
Yeah. Shit. All right. So I guess we've got. What was your first car that you raced? Was it the Neon?
Yeah.
Like, that would be the first car that you raced. Was that your first car overall? Like, just the kicker?
Fucking Neons, dude.
That was it. Neon.
I still drive a Neon.
There was no Ford Pinto in your younger years or nothing?
Well, there was a Chevy Citation that I put into a telephone pole.
I don't even know what a Chevy Citation is. It sounds like something the cops give you for driving a Chevy.
Dude, look it up. Chevy Citations. They had a turbo model.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. The one I crashed wasn't a turbo.
Was it like, this is like an 84?
Shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, probably mid 80s.
So what was the first drag race? Like, where was it with the Neon? I guess we'll start with that. Like, do you remember your first like event? Like,
yeah, definitely. First event that I really consider is it was just this local indie race that so there was this like local forum called Indie HP that a lot of the guys were a part of. I was a part of. You had to be like so fast to be a part of that page, kind of thing. Yeah. It was kind of cool, It's still a thing, I believe.
Exclusive.
But yeah, they put on a little event, and it was just like front wheel drive class, like it wasn't super specific. Maybe it was even turbo, but but to me that was like the coolest thing. That was my first race that I was going to go and compete at. Other than that, I'd just been practicing, Yeah. And sure enough, went and won the thing. So
you won it.
Yeah, I did.
Holy smokes!
Yeah. I'll never forget that.
That's good. That's good. Do you remember what times you were running?
Yeah, it was 10.4 at 143.
But this was a turbo Neon, right?
Yeah, first generation turbo Neon. 5-speed.
No more. Yeah, no more. So what made you go from turbo class to all motor? Was it just that was no more headache of that? Or was, I guess, with the people you've got involved in, that's kind of also pushed where you're going to end up?
Yeah, that's the case. And then whenever I was at Stewart's, like, I was just enthralled in cylinder head flow and just engine building in general. And I just got so interested in building engines and stuff like that, that it doesn't, when you're like that interested in building engines, it doesn't matter if you have a turbo hanging off it or how fast you're going, because it's just like, I don't know, it's just that probably, development. The development phase is what you're like super about. Yeah.
Well, the turbo's only it's forcing it. The other way around, it's all natural, naturally aspirated. You know that your hands were inside there, and if it works, it's all you. It's not because the turbo made up for some shit that you messed up.
Yeah.
You gotta, I'd say you got to be a little more spot on with the all motor stuff and builds.
Yeah, you're definitely fighting for every bit. That's for sure.
Man, you like knocked out 4 questions in one there with what was the first event and then what was the first win you had. There was all in one. What was your first event with the Honda?
So the first event with the Carrot would have been Spring H Day, I believe, a year ago.
That was the first one for you, huh? I was there, so
yeah.
I didn't realize. I thought maybe you went elsewhere first. So was that different? Was like a whole new set of nerves and emotions coming to that in that car, and then compared to the Neon back in the day when it was smaller, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. But honestly, at this point in my life, like I've been around a lot of different racing, so racing doesn't really get into my nerves so much.
Yeah.
So I am at a better place mentally now than I used to be. Like, used to be, it was a lot more nerve-wracking. Like, it was all on my shoulders, you know. I had built the car. Everything was me. I got the car to the track. Like, there's a lot more stress involved with being that guy. So I was way more anxious back in the day with the Neon than I am with this car, but it's mostly my age.
Yeah.
I'm just I don't care, you know.
You're a lot more comfortable, and you have a good team around you, so that definitely helps.
Absolutely helps.
I know over the years it's helped everyone. The good teams always do well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's only one person in the car, but it's definitely a team sport. With
100%, yeah.
Watching you do your clutch or transmission, whatever you had to fix at Honda Day, even this past one, you know, it's it wasn't just you, even though it's your car and you drive it. Everyone helps.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, nail on the head, dude. It's drag racing is more than, well, I can't say more than any other racing, but especially drag racing is the driver honestly should do very little. If the car's working right, the driver's doing nearly nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It shouldn't be hard for the driver. You should be able to cut a light and then go down the track.
Yeah, don't have to force the steering wheel. Don't have to worry about what's going to happen when I pull the chute handle.
Yeah, right.
Or you guys aren't there yet, but you're almost there with what Jamie Marsh just did. You guys are going to need chutes fairly soon. Maybe you may need chutes due to ET before you need them for mile per hour even.
Yeah. Well, 150 of those I mean, some of those fuckers already need them.
Some of them, some of them have gone 150. So the regulation, the rules are different everywhere. We'll get into that way later in this interview.
Yeah.
So your personal best is obviously the 954 at the IFO event. How many event wins do you have altogether? Because I know you've won a couple IFOs now as well.
Yeah, we won 2 IFOs, Columbus and St. Louis, and then we won H-Day.
2 IFOs.
3. Yeah.
3 wins in a matter of a year and a half, 2 years at most is pretty good. I try to explain it to a lot of these racers sometimes that, you know, hey guys, there's only 5 or 6 events a year for some. Like if you only attend, that's only 5-6 chances to win. That means that a whole field of 16 cars, not even half of them get to say they won throughout the year. And if someone wins twice, you really are losing. So it's hard to stay motivated. I like to see different people get wins every so often.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even this past weekend, 2 new. Jamie does very well, but he hasn't won many events. So for him to win this event was just as big to me as you know. There was still a good amount of cars in the field. I think what's most impressive with your win is that it was the biggest field.
Yeah.
You know, you went from #1 qualifier in the biggest field of cars, and you marched down the list. And you had the toughest competition for you didn't come till the end when you had to race Adrian, really. And it's like, that clearly proves it wasn't a walk in the park.
And we were fighting troubles, man. Fucking.
Yeah.
Trust me, I headed into that final, I was like, it's out of my control. You know, I'm just going to put faith that the thing's going to do what it's supposed to do and just go down the track. And that's what I did. And as soon as I clicked fourth and looked over, I was like, no fucking way. That really just happened.
Man.
A lot of luck on our side there, dude. There was a lot of luck that day.
That's usually what it is, you know? Yeah. Some people are saying Jamie won the last 3 IFOs. Yes, and you know, this is a totally different topic, but even for Matt, we'll say at the level of competition at an H-Day is totally different than to what's going on at an IFO.
Oh yeah.
At certain places. Some places it's good. Like this last win for Jamie was at an IFO, but there was heavy competition out there. You had the DSS cars, you had both sides of the 4-piston. It was like 4-piston versus DSS. I would like to see more JBR stuff come up so that it's 3 of you guys battling it out. Really, you know, that's kind of in my opinion, how the class kind of revolves around. It's either you're with the P racing team, the 4-piston team, or the JBR team. And it's not real beef. Some people want you guys to like actually hate each other, but yeah.
It is racing though, you know what I mean? Like competition. That is the heart of racing, is it not? Yeah. So, but you know, in the end, it's like we all keep this industry moving along, you know, and honestly, the competition and the side picking is a good thing for everybody.
Yeah.
It's good to say I'm a part of this fucking team, you know, and fuck you guys.
As long as at the end everyone shakes hands or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
it's fucking. I think that's the way it should go. Obviously, at some points, there's going to be extra emotions after 2 days or 3 days of being at the track and traveling and eating shit food. Yeah, some people are still going to be pissed off by the end of, you know, so.
Yeah.
People are chewing me out for saying Jamie didn't win many events. I'm saying he hasn't won the major one yet. He hasn't won a World Cup or a Honda Day. Like, people, I don't think it's just me that says this. People put those events a little higher than IFO. It would be winning World Cup would be here, and then Honda Day, right? And then IFOs and other miscellaneous events after that. I don't believe Jamie has won World Cup or Honda Day yet. So, you know, he might have the record, but you have an H-Day win before him.
But you know what, dude? I want him to win an H-Day. You know, I'm on his side as much as I'm on my own side.
Of
Any
course.
of our guys, like...
He says the same about you, I'm sure. So
yeah.
That's the best. I like coming over to your guys' pit because you guys really are all helping each other.
Yeah.
There's no, like, who gets the best part, this, you know, who gets the better tune. Everyone gets it.
Yeah.
So, I like it.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
so,
you know, we're just fucking Midwest dudes, so, you know, we enjoy racing and we enjoy our friends, especially. We really enjoy our friends. We don't get to hang out with guys that love what we do, except for when we're at the racetrack. So,
yeah,
you know, we're on cloud nine. We're out at the track hanging out with our buddies and fucking racing.
So Matt says winning all motor at H-Day, he cried.
Is what?
Map says that at H-Day he won all motor and he cried.
Map said that?
Maps, he said that.
Dude, I fucking cried too.
Yeah, it's that big of a deal.
It is.
I told Jamie he won the event after his record. He goes, oh yeah. I wish I had caught that on video.
Oh yeah.
You won the event too, because his buddy, Mr. Nice Guy, who looks like your brother, by the way, he was running around with the trophy the whole time. You would have thought he won.
Yeah, yeah. They have got a good group of dudes out there, all working together.
Yeah.
And that's actually another solid thing I want to touch on is, like, again, drag racing is so much a team sport. Like, fucking find some guys that are doing cool shit and stick by them and help them out and be helpful. And that's the way to get somewhere.
Yeah. I think a lot of teams let little shit get to them and they ruin the team unity. You know, sometimes you do just got to bite your tongue. It's a sport full of egos. From you know, even us media guys that like racing, we all have fucking egos too. So we all have egos too, because you know, we clearly all have some sort of competition drive. It doesn't mean we hate each other or nothing. We just, everyone wants to compete, you know. So would you say that H-Day is one of your favorite events to compete at?
Oh fuck yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I know you said World Cup H-Day, but honestly, dude, I have H-Day higher up in my personal opinion because it is just our community.
It's our little community. I feel the same way as you sometimes. I mean, I think that this H-Day just got a bad deal with it being, and I don't even mean just H-Day, because if you had to ask me in a whole, I would look forward to the OGS events more, because there used to be the 5 or 6 of them a year. And to compare one event to the series that was 5 events, that would have been, you know, no way. The OGS events are great. I beg Javier to bring those Fast Fest events back. Even this past weekend at IFO, we had 4 or 5 Volkswagens in the sport front wheel drive field that they could not compete at a Honda Day. You know, and if we had those 5 cars at Honda Day, we would have had more than a full field. And
that's a really good point. Yeah.
So, and I've brought that up to Javier a lot. I go, hey man, I have a lot of Volkswagen friends on Long Island here that want to race, and they have nowhere to do it. And give them the chance. Like, as much, but at the same time, I'm a Honda guy. I love Hondas, and I want it to be all Hondas. So toss up. But
I guess I should clarify though. It's not the H part of the day that I like. It's the OGS. An OGS event is what I hold as my highest rung of competition in our sport. So I don't care what they're doing, if it's a Honda Day or if it's a Fast Fest.
Yep.
I still think I still think OGS sanctioned events are the pinnacle of our industry.
In my opinion, they are our NHRA series. They are our sanctioning body if we were to claim to have any such thing.
Right.
You know, the shitty part.
I'm not taking anything away from World Cup either. That's a huge event, and that in itself is just this completely different thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I hate comparing them because one was an event series throughout the year, and the other one was a one-time like Super Bowl Mecca type thing. And Jason Miller and me have talked all the time that without Javier creating this sport front-wheel drive class, he wouldn't be having 60 cars. Super Street class at World Cup is the biggest class he has, and you know, without this big series that OGS has created, we may not even have that big drive to go to World Cup. So even they all work together, all the events, like everything's needed. How would he come up with rules for his event if he didn't have events like H Day where the guys were running all out and everything, you know?
Yeah, true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sean Ramey, a couple people have said Fall Nationals was a big win. Fall Nationals was definitely a major event to take a win in. If you know, that's the biggest one that we lost in my opinion, because obviously we have it still, but nothing replaces what Fall National was. And honestly, I don't think you could replace it unless it was at Englishtown. There was just something about being at Englishtown around this time of year. I don't know.
So quick, remind me though, Fall Nationals was like
fast. It was the last Fast Fest of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We won one of those in the Pro Insight and our old Insight.
Did you? When Pro Stock was still there?
Dude, Luke was crying like a little bitch. You should have seen him. We were ecstatic. Like,
yeah. I missed that whole Pro Stock shit, man. I remember the last Pro Stock class was at ZMAX Rally. That's like the last time I remember it, actually. Somewhere around there, or Dragmania in Virginia had a Pro Stock class, but it was all bad. That ZMAX event, Luke crashed the Integra, you know, or the RSX, whatever it was. Reynolds crashed the Clutchmaster Civic, I remember, at Virginia, and it was like Pro Stock after that. This shit was done. That, in my opinion, some of the OG all-motor racers could have gone up to Pro Stock, and we could have slowed down the regular street class now, but now we're going almost Pro Stock times, and even you at a 9.5 is still 9.54. There's Wendell who went 9.40. There's a lot of 9.40 times out there, so I have a top 10 list for all-motor non-OGS times, like basically the sauce times, but I obviously have to rewrite the whole thing because Jamie Marsh just bumped all the way to the top. So now I'm said to my buddy, he's coming over actually tonight with his like the PDF whatever shit, so we can input all the new data.
Hell yeah. Did anybody else move up on the list, on that outlaw list?
Wendell is going to move up, I believe. I have to double check it.
What do you go, a 4.0?
4.0 flat, yeah. We're gonna save that part of the conversation. We'll get back to the soft part of the conversation. All right. Let's get back to you and what I guess, you know, someone maps. I saw some other people asking, are you married? Do you have kids? Do you have you know, what's family life like?
I'm not married. I've been with my girlfriend Adria for like 10 years. So dragging my feet on that. No kids. We got a bunch of animals. So she runs a animal sanctuary, or a farm animal sanctuary.
Nice.
Out of our house. We got like 10 acres there, and so we got. I love pigs. Pigs are the sweetest little animals. You'd never believe it.
Yep.
The funniest little fuckers. They're real stubborn, and the way you have to deal with them is just comical. Like. Like Mabel's always getting in the trash, and to get her out of the trash, you don't like scold her or anything. She doesn't understand that, especially because with a pig, if you like scold them and get on them, they brat out and they do exactly the opposite what you want them to do. So you have to go over there and like sweet talk them and be nice to them and be like, "This is not what you should be doing," and they're like, "Baga, baga," and they like walk off. Like
not
the
every
funniest fucking things.
Not every pet is a dog, you know. Not everything you can treat like a dog or
no, they're different. Yeah.
Trust me,
we got like, I don't know, 10 to 15 pigs for somewhere in that area.
I got a friend here. He works at Force Fed Engineering. His girlfriend has a pig. They have a pig that they purchased or whatever, and it lives in their house.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Dude, we got 3 house pigs. And
stay in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
People think I'm crazy because I got a squirrel. You got 3 pigs in your house. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
So you guys vegetarians?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
You are? Wow.
Yeah.
That's even cooler. I don't know what made me just think of that instantly like that. I've never asked you that actually, but that's crazy. Just so everyone knows, Matt Monday walked up to me at Honda Day and handed me was it grasshopper? It was some big, maybe a leaf bug.
Oh yeah, that was Josh's shit. He had some dried bugs.
Do you know that when you walked away, everyone was like, "What the fuck was that about?" And I was like, "We like animals, so we like pets, so we like, we're weird hippies. What do you want?"
Oh, I know what you're talking about. No, that was a katydid.
That's what it was?
That was a katydid. Yeah.
That's whatever it was.
Was that weird?
He handed me a bug. Well, that wasn't weird to me, but the 5 people that were sitting around me were like, "Did Monday just walk up to you and hand you a grasshopper or whatever?" It's like,
shit.
Like we're boys.
I didn't think anything about it. I figured you'd want to see it. It was hanging out, so I was like, check it out.
I put it in Sean's up pipe. That might be why Maps won the
No shit. We actually pulled a little water snake off the road on the way to the shop like half hour ago.
I don't play with snakes. You're on your own. You're on your own with the snakes.
Yeah.
I can't do it with the snakes. Oh
yeah.
Man. I would be shit. I went to California once. I'm terrified to go back to California and see another snake.
Damn.
Well, I saw one. It was underneath my rental car. I go to walk out to my car. I thought there was like a leak or something, so I go under it, and there's a fucking snake. And I went right back in the house. Didn't go to where I was going. I stayed in the house all day. My buddy came home, and he fucking got like a shovel, and he like threw it over the fence or something.
Let the neighbors deal with that.
They didn't want nothing to do with it.
You never been bit by one though?
What?
Dude, I've been bit. I've been bit by a water snake. All right, quick story.
And now you're saving them?
Yeah, fuck it. So a long time ago, I grew up in the woods, right? And my brother caught like a frog out of the creek, and I managed to lose this frog. Okay, so I owed him. Well, we saw this water snake one day, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm grabbing that, and that's my payback. So I pick it up by its tail. It comes back up, grabs me right here, and just shakes the shit, and finally falls off. And dude, blood just pouring down my wrist. I was like, I don't know, probably 12 or so, and luckily it wasn't poisonous. That's why it shook, because it was like cutting me up with its razor teeth.
Yeah.
But that was fucked up. No, I don't hate him.
Is that the same as a water moccasin down south?
No, water moccasins are poisonous.
Those are poisonous. That's why. Yeah. That's why. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah. Dude, we have copperheads, cottonmouth. We have rattler snakes here, timber rattlers, but very rare. Very rare.
Yeah. No.
Other than that, no.
A lot of people are writing, burn down the shop, like move to where
set it on fire. Yeah.
I don't know. I like living on an island, knowing that hopefully the snakes can't get through the city here. The only reason I live where I live.
Whatever, dude. That's where they're gonna come first if they start taking over.
Yeah.
They're gonna get you.
All right, so instead of burning down the shop, before we get into this, how long have you worked for 4piston Racing?
Well, I've worked with them, I guess, like 3 years. Actually was employed by 4piston.
Yeah, paycheck, not helper.
But yeah, I helped them on their race program, and anytime Josh needed help to get the car ready for a race, I was over there helping him. But when they finally needed an employee, I was the first employee of 4piston, actually. In fact, I was the first full-timer, like before Josh even went full-time.
Really? He was still at the other shop, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was doing it part-time. He had a job, and then he was doing 4piston at night.
So how did you go from whatever construction, using hammers and nails, to torquing some of the fastest motors in the country at this point.
No shit, dude.
That's crazy.
It wasn't a straight line, I tell you that. It's a weird way it came about, but the only thing I can think is that I was stubborn and I didn't want to do certain stuff. Like I didn't want to go race for an NHRA or work for an NHRA team. I didn't want to go work for it because we have that around here. We got a lot of NHRA teams. We got a lot of IndyCar. We got a lot of racing in Indianapolis.
Well, I follow Cold Hard Art, and he's like riding a bike down the street, and he's like, "Oh, there's this race shop, there's this race shop," and I was like, "I can't fucking wait to go to Indy."
Yeah, it's wild.
I've been to North Carolina where it's all NASCAR country. I've been to Dale Earnhart's shop. I've been to a lot of that stuff down there, but Indy's drag race.
Yeah. We used to have a lot of IndyCar, but they've spread out more.
So you're almost like part co-creator of 4piston. I'd give you that title at this point simply because you were one of the first.
Well, I don't know. I would never claim that by any means, but I definitely I love what we do, and I'm number one fan. I can tell you that.
How many employees are there now?
5 of us.
5 of you. So the other 2 guys there full time too.
Yeah.
Man, you guys have a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and probably could hire right now. Too busy. I'm pretty fucking busy.
I'll have to ask Luke, but you may even know, where did he come up with this idea to start a cylinder head company or motor building?
I would imagine it just kind of came out of necessity. Like they were wanting to race the pro car, and they had developed their own engine program, and felt like it was something that was good enough to offer guys, and then slowly guys just started buying it and having some success with it. And honestly, our pro all motor team wasn't that great. Like we didn't have a lot of success. Like no shit, our win at H-Day as a race team, that win at H-Day was the first time we've won as a team in like 8 years. So now our customers, they speak a lot for us in how they race and stuff like that, but us as a team, we hadn't had a lot of success, and it might have kept us driven throughout the years, which might have been it's like what is it, that Chinese farmer's tale where it's like this thing happens and you're like, was that good? And you say, I don't know. And so it's like, so we didn't have success, but it kept us working hard. So we've been driven. So to have that for all of us was huge.
Luke, the photo that I took of Luke, you remember what he said to me when I took the photo and the caption? We were born losers. I took the photo over. He goes, "We were born losers."
Yeah.
Where did that come from, Luke?
Yeah.
But now that you say the story, I guess I've never viewed it like that. Probably because I find so many reasons to put a 4piston logo on a winner's video, whether it's even Brandon Jefferson or Sean Ramey or Vinny D. Many customers of yours that I've done promo work for, they're like, put a 4piston logo on it, and I'm like, okay. So it feels like you guys are always there in the winner's circle. But
luckily we've had a lot of badass customers, to be honest, like some really good dudes, and it's been great for us.
Well, you got to make sure you keep that hunger. There's back to back wins.
That
should keep you motivated.
I figure we figured out how to work hard after losing long enough. I think we can figure out how to work hard after winning. And I mean, we've been busting our asses ever since we got back. So
now you have an example. Like at other events, you could say, "Oh, this is what kept us winning." Now sometimes it's really just luck. Sometimes it really comes down to luck.
Yeah, I love our what's it? John Force has a quote. He said something like, "I'll take luck over smarts any day," or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was feeling that at Honda Day. I was like, I thought we were having terrible luck, but every time we needed to make a pass, the motherfucker made a pass, and that's like,
really,
whatever.
The way you positioned yourself, I'd say, was definitely a huge advantage to the getting the win part. As I'm looking at the ladder, right? I look at these all the time because I'm wondering who raced who when, and will they rematch, and some of the other the other side of the ladder had like Jamie Marsh, Adam Hall, Adrian, Brandon Jefferson, and Lone. It's like,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah. I could get used to this Q1 shit. Like I want to qualify number one all the time. It definitely makes your race day a lot easier.
Fabian at this last event in the front wheel drive turbo class, he had 2 bye runs. You know, he had great races set up for the semifinals and finals that he had to win to get his win. But yeah, sometimes, but realistically, the number one qualifier spot determines that you're going to have an easier day.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean an instant win, but you're definitely going to have an easier day.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think Sean Ramey was number one qualifier at Honda Day as well.
He was. Yeah. I think he was too. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a bye run too, second round after a win. So number one means a lot. Definitely.
Yeah.
That was your first number one qualifier at a OGS.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We let's think at the Spring H Day, we went number 2 only because of the weird no qualifying shit that went down.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But we were number 1 for like half of a qualifying session. That felt great.
Yeah. Well, Mark P was number 1 at Honda Day after first round, and I remember saying to him, like, he was like, "This feels great." He's like, "It's nice to know that I'm already at the top part of the list."
Yeah.
So that how much further could you realistically drop? It's hopefully not to the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Probably not going to be dropping that far, at least.
How did you end up as the driver? Did you arm wrestle Luke? Did you have to fight him? Yeah.
No, we
fair fight.
We oiled up and wrestled it out.
Oiled.
No, I think so. I had to think about that a lot. So basically, Luke has the Pro RSX. That's kind of Luke's car. Josh's baby has always been the Insight, so that was kind of his car. And then we wanted to get into this street class, which I had been preaching for years, because I like that. I like that class type racing more than the pro type racing. And so I think not only because I had racing experience, but my weight is another part of it. And
what do you weigh? Since you're not a chick, and we can ask you that.
Yeah, I weigh 125.
125. Holy smokes! You're a tall dude too.
Yeah,
that's a huge advantage. That's like wow. I don't
make some difference.
That definitely helps. Well, Luke's got to be 200. I mean, he's not a little dude.
Yeah, we'll ask him when he gets on here. What he weighs?
125.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to think who's Chapulin might be lighter, but yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I think like Tom Crean's like $150. Map has got to be at least $150.
I know Brandon's 180.
Tim Gray's in here. What do you weigh, Tim Gray? What do you weigh, Adrian? Put your weights up. I'm about to add this to the top 10 list.
Tim Gray. I saw a picture of Tim from way back. That motherfucker's put on some pounds.
Tim Gray?
Yeah. He used to look like me.
Married, kids. You know, he's old time now.
Yeah, right.
Chapulin's 114. Adam MSR says he's 140. Jamie Marsh has got to be 170, I'd say. I mean,
dude, all you all motor guys got to get on this weight loss program. It's important. It's going to get tight.
140. Wow. 205, Tim Gray? You ain't more
Tim. Come on.
Might be time for little Timmy to get in the driver's seat. Jamie Marsh weighs 200.
200.
He's got muscle into there, huh?
You know, it's funny. For the longest time, it seemed like only big guys raced all motor. You had like Luke, you had Yo Solo, you had like all these fucking big guys. It was like
Bello.
Yeah, Bello. Yeah.
He would have been a 9-second car if he were driving it. I would have not guessed 125, dude. That's
yeah.
It's like impressive to think that you're a fucking true jockey. So yeah, that is definitely the main reason I would say that you should drive versus not calling anyone fat. You are exceptionally skinny.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Become vegetarians, you racers. Stop eating all that damn.
I was telling Brandon. I was telling Brandon last night, I bet him $1 that if he quits drinking sodas, he'll lose 10 pounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would.
The shit we do for 10 pounds.
Yeah.
That ain't much.
How much money you spend on 10 pounds? You could just buy a diet.
Yeah. Just quit buying Coke.
Yeah. Rob Ryan, and he's definitely over 220 or something. He's a bigger guy. Yeah. I mean, fat guys can drive too, but.
Yeah.
Wow. I never even thought of it like that. You're definitely, I'm going to say, the lightest guy in the class.
Shit, I might be. I'm not sure.
At Honda Day. We're not, don't ever ask a girl her weight. Don't ever ask a girl her weight, you guys. So don't start asking the female racers what they weigh. That would be totally wrong. You don't worry about it.
Oh, shit.
That's messed up. Oh, shit. So besides the racing, what else do you do? Obviously you do the farm stuff. I think we all know that you ride go-kart dirt.
Yeah.
I think we're all jealous that you
Dude,
ride.
fucking
there.
The go-karts have stolen my heart.
Yeah.
So I have this history with go-karts. So I've always loved them and always wanted to have a go-kart, right? Me and my girlfriend raced flat track dirt bikes for a couple of years there. So that was kind of cool. I personally love all racing. Like we're at a dirt oval almost every night or every weekend during the summer. Like sprint cars and modifieds and all that shit. I love it. I just love racing. I used to work for a team that ran late models. I was a tire guy. I just love racing. I've been around racing my whole life. It's the only, I don't have any other hobbies. My hobby is racing.
You're very lucky that she's interested in it then, aren't you?
Oh yeah, Adria loves it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to say, what are you waiting for?
Wow.
throw up the lock buttons, guys. They're locking the review.
I saw her in here. She's probably going to talk some mad shit.
That's funny.
My only saving grace is we have no reception at our house. We live in the fucking boonies.
Yeah, well, that's actually why I FaceTimed you. I was like, oh, shit, let me make sure that he's got service because they might turn the Wi-Fi off in India at like 9 o'clock.
Flip the switch.
Oh,
good night
today, guys.
Yeah.
No Colts game on. It's over.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I love all type of racing. But yeah, go-karts right now, I am fucking enthralled. It seems like every couple of years I just get this new thing that I do on my own free time that I'm just like all about. So it was flat track motorcycles. Now it's these fucking go-karts and just racing yard tracks. Like I got a buddy that's got a badass track he's about an hour from me. But they banked it and it's badass. They get 15 to 20 guys out there sometimes.
That's where you go. That's where most of the videos, GoPro videos that you post are from.
When there's a lot of people, yes. When it's just a couple of us, that's my house, my personal house.
Oh, that's at your house.
Yeah, I have a track. Yeah.
So you invite people to your track too.
Yeah.
Wow.
But my track's not up to par yet, so I haven't got a lot of people out there yet.
Yeah. Oh.
So I rented a skid steer and a Harley rake and a yard roller or a drum roller, and I built my track just at the end of winter this year. So it's still like early in its development phase. I plan on over this winter putting more effort into it, making it better and better and better. And
what makes a dirt track better? I like dirt track racing. I've watched it really because of like Tony Stewart back in the days of Clint Boyer. I'm a huge Clint Boyer fan from like before he was NASCAR famous. He was dirt track there. I like Clint Boyer a lot. He's rugged.
Is that what it is you like? Was rugged?
He's like rugged and gritty. He's like, he's like the I don't give a shit kind of like. He reminds me of like Earnhardt style.
Yeah.
That's what I've always liked. But but I don't know anything about the dirt track stuff. My buddy is a pit guy, spotter on a NASCAR team, but that's not dirt. So what makes a dirt track better?
I mean,
how do you plan to improve your dirt track?
Yeah, the only thing I can really compare it to right now is just like simple yard tracks. Like I can't comment on what makes a good dirt track better than another good dirt track. But for my track right now, I've got some off camber turns, and like basically my track is set up at the peak of a hill, so you turn in going up a hill on both turns, and then so And then my race line isn't very wide. The grass is kind of over. I haven't been able to race on it enough to keep the grass down. So what I need to do is like I need to come in and take the sod layer down.
Gotcha.
And I need to level it all out to where it drains water properly.
Gotcha.
And stuff like that. So stuff like that makes a dirt track better.
The pitch, yeah.
Yeah. So really water drainage, and then really if you want a nice, good racing line that you can go a couple wide, you want some banking on the outside of the turn to give the outside an advantage. So it's shit like that, you know?
Yeah, that would make sense. I walked on Richmond track in Virginia, and like it's not known for being big banking, but even that I was like, wow, there is so much more to this than you know.
Yeah.
They're not just circles. They're not just flat circles.
Yeah, no,
It's interesting. That's crazy. I like that. I like that stuff. I don't know how much our fans like all the circle track, go-kart, hillbilly.
Actually,
stuff, but
Tim Gray, he's always out. He's at dirt tracks quite a bit too. He's got what is it? I'm gonna fuck this up, but it's like his cousin by marriage or something races super stocks or whatever on dirt.
Yeah. Okay.
He's always out at the dirt tracks too.
I know he's got someone he knows from North Carolina that does NASCAR related racing, because I remember seeing him at the track like cleaning his tires and stuff like it was it was like a NASCAR car, like prepping the tires and stuff. He's cycling them or whatever he was doing. But yeah, very cool stuff. NASCAR. I used to get screamed at by my drag race friends for following NASCAR, but now I can't say I follow it as much, but more so because my drag racing interests have gone through the roof. So
yeah.
But I did have go-karts when I was younger as well. I wasn't racing them like you. I'd go to like the fields a couple blocks away and beat the go-kart around through it until something flew off it.
Yeah. Oh, that's the way karts are, dude. You're always fixing them. They're always breaking.
Dude, I went over a hill once and the back tire flew off, and then I landed. It was way too low to the ground at that point, so like I landed in like wood chips, and a wood chip got stuck through the throttle, and the other wheel was just whipping wood chips out. And I remember turning around and being like, "Holy shit!" It was like a blender of wood chips, and it was just dropping the go-kart down. So I pulled the spark plug wire out, and that was like
quick thinking.
That was like one of the last times I was like 14 years old probably, and that was probably the end of my go-karting days after that. Yeah.
Well, if you ever come out to Indy, I'll put you on a cart and we'll fucking race.
Oh, I will definitely fucking race. I would love that. I'm not much for two wheels. I know you said you do a lot of motorcycle stuff.
I wasn't either.
Yeah. It's
like basically what I took away from that is 30 is not the age that you learn how to race motorcycles.
No.
No, that's a dangerous fucking sport.
I remember being I was like a little kid, and I just remember getting on a bike, and I grabbed the handlebars, and next thing you know, it's on top of me, and I'm like, get this shit off me. I was so bad. Everyone's laughing at me, and I'm like, the fucking exhaust is burning me. I'm like, get this shit off me. Like, I don't want to ride your stupid two-wheel bikes.
Yeah. No shit.
That's wild. So is there like your history, like was there racers you were looking up to in the past? Even current racers still that are still racing maybe before you got involved, you're like, I like the way they do it.
Yeah. Just racers in general. I have got a local guy here that I actually worked for a little bit. His name's Pete Cozzolino. I really look up to him. He's been racing a long time, and he just knows a lot about everything. Like, he's just a well-rounded person. He can fabricate, he can build a motor, he can dyno tune, like,
do it all.
All the way coming up through all this stuff, I wanted to learn all this shit for myself so I could be my own answer to my own. I wanted to be able to build my own motors. I wanted to fabricate my own stuff. Like, I just wanted to be able to do it all. So I look up to guys like that. Now, racers in our class, I look up to Brandon Jefferson. I really look up to him.
Long Island guy, I like it.
Yeah. To me, he's my favorite racer out there right now. I've just been a fan of his for a long time. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've made a pass beside him yet. Brandon, are you in here? If I made a pass beside you, I don't think I have. I have Aaron a couple times.
But I know he's raced a lot of teammates. I know he raced Marsh at this last event.
They did.
And he beat him.
Yeah.
But
I've made a couple passes beside Alex Pagan.
And he said not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. Yeah. That's cool. It's a current racer, someone you still race against, and he's won each day. He's won each day too.
Yeah.
So I remember him winning that because I remember filming him in the interview circle after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
It's just like every time I see Brandon do well, it's just like I feel great about it. You know, like he's just a hard worker, and he's always got his head down. He's never in the limelight. He's never being away. You know, like he's just a fucking racer. I love that.
Sometimes he's too quiet.
Yeah, maybe. If he's got a fault, he's too quiet. Yeah.
Who would be your favorite person to line up against? Obviously, you're not just like, who do you think you're gonna win against? You know, like, is there someone you line up against and you're like, you know, like a Brandon, like, man, I'd love to just battle it out with this guy, or it might even be Tim Gray or a competitor where it's the competitive side.
I honestly don't really have anybody because to me, when I'm going down the track, it has nothing to do with the guy beside me. Like, I'm in my own race, and so I don't really care who's beside me. So no, I don't really have anybody that I want to sit beside, if you'll say it that way. Now, I will say though, I want to do some fucking grudge racing.
Like, a little extra smack talking.
Yeah, I'm not a smack talker, but I just want the stakes, you know? Like, I want that excitement. Like, I want to be like, there's some money on the fucking line right now.
Yeah, money.
I want that pressure.
Yeah, the pressure. Sometimes applying pressure makes, you know, pressure creates diamonds, like they always say. So
yeah. So I guess maybe this is my chance to say, if anybody wants to call us out, let's fucking do that.
Let's fucking do it. Let's do it. There it is. Matt Monday said, anybody, anywhere, let's go.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind it. He wants to
set it up
to do better. I like that. I like that. Pressure makes you better.
Yeah. I grew up watching all these YouTube street racing in New York shit, like all the Thai Boogie and Nice Ones and all that stuff. So it's like there is about this much inside of me that wishes someday the Carrot can get on the street too.
Oh man.
Maybe a Nutty Money. Maybe Nutty Money is a good in between.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not against the street. I have nothing against it. I just I want to see people at the track because I want to see racetracks survive. I want to see events do better. In the street, the only person that wins is the guy driving the car and his team. Sometimes the loss could be severely worse, even for the driver. So it's just I like.
No, you're right. Yeah.
I remember stopping the guys at Pan Am. They're on my live feed screaming out like, "Yo, I'm exhausted. The track staff's exhausted. What do you think the ambulance people are doing? Like, if my friend crashes at the end of the track right now, is he going to get the service he needs?" And that's the main reason why the streets keeps me a little nervous, because you don't have an ambulance on call and you've already created miles of traffic. So I just don't want to see nobody get hurt.
I think that's. I mean,
vagina.
Yeah. I mean, the Nutty Money is a good answer to that problem.
Very much. I met the guy Tyler that runs it, and he's a good guy. Wow, we only have 2 minutes left. Is it really almost 10 o'clock? I just got the point. We're gonna have to do a little extra because we haven't even gotten Josh and Luke and.
Yeah, let's get them in here. You want to get them in here?
We'll finish this off. We got 1 more minute, I guess, and then we'll have to restart a new one. I just wanted to let everyone know that we're coming down to the end here. We're coming down on some of the questions too. You know, best moment of the track. I know it's going to be H-Day win. You know, worst moment of the track. Is there a worst moment where you were like, I want to quit?
Not in drag racing. No. I crashed the very first car I ever autocrossed, which was a Neon. I put it under a fucking fence. That was a pretty bad day.
Damn.
Because that was like first chance to race a car, and I put it under a fence. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, that's not good. So my next question is going to be stuff with new products, new ideas, stuff more about 4piston, the billet head stuff. And I see a lot of people asking questions on that. So you're going to have to tune in for hour number 2. It might not even be an hour, but we might, judging by how fast this one went, I have a feeling we could do another hour.
Wow.
We just knocked out a whole list of questions. Matt Monday has this list too. just so you guys don't think we're doing this shit on the whim. He's got even more notes than me. I got a lot of notes. He's got a lot of notes. This is like homework. We put a lot into this. It's not just, we might only promote it for a day and a half, but it's really because I don't feel the need to promote something for 2 weeks. Here it is. Tune in. Let's go. You don't have to go everywhere. You just got to watch. So thank you guys for tuning in for the first hour. Thank you, Monday. This has been awesome. Yeah. We're going to do another hour in about a minute. So we have 10 seconds left. I'll see you in like 35 seconds.
All right, brother.
All right, be back. Stay saucy. That was a great first hour. If you're just catching this, go back and watch that last hour with Matt Monday. That was a perfect example of how a perfect fucking interview should go, in my opinion. So, but this part of it, we're going to get a little, I know there's questions. I know there's a lot of yapping. So we'll get into that side. I know some of you guys want to see the billet head too. So as soon as we see the 4piston guys get back in here, we'll join back up. What's up, Ramey? I see you're in here. Ramey, you were talking a lot in the last interview. I missed a lot of your questions. Wow, this has been awesome. We're connecting right now to Matt Monday. Oh, here we go.
Damn, it's not wide enough.
Oh. Yeah, it's just. Oh, that's what she said.
Get in the middle.
Get in the middle. Sit on the motor.
I'll back up. Oh, there, so I can't hear.
All right.
This is perfect. You guys done this before or something?
What's up?
It's the first try. So
all right, Matt. Point him out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is Justin.
What's up, Justin?
Josh.
I know Josh. I know
Luke. Yeah, you know Josh and Luke. But Justin's the new guy on campus here.
Justin's the new guy. Ryan also.
Justin's been here almost about 2 years. Matt's been here longer than he says he has. He's just letting time go by fast. He even took a hiatus to go build furniture.
What?
Company. So time's flying. Matt's been here a long time.
Wow.
I think it was 3 years you've been back since furniture.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. Dude, time's flying by, bro.
Dude, I can't keep up with time.
We're getting old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of the comments were hilarious. You're right. Don't fucking read them while you're on the camera, dude.
That's what I told you. I call everyone.
There's some worms on there.
I said, don't read the comments.
Some of them are hilarious. It's all good.
The only comment I saw
positive.
Was Tom Crean saying that Maps had toenails for fingernails or some shit.
I did see that one. I did.
Only one I saw.
Because I was like, what did he just
read that wrong.
Yeah. Some crazy. It's funny who comes in, who writes comments.
It's all good.
I was going to bring up the furniture. Now we're going to try to read the comments, guys. Now it's going to be.
Surprised Ramey's wife is letting him watch this.
Yeah.
Wow. That's probably Heather on the Rainy account, guys.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, man, this is
you got
good.
Any salty questions? Any good ones?
This guy wants salty questions.
People want.
I mean, that's what people want to see. Like, we start talking about shit that nobody cares about. And things fall off. I'm not trying to start your shit. Like, this is all positive.
I mean, we're really talking about NASCAR and Honda.
Yeah, we were. Well, it was the regular, get to know Matt type.
No, it was great. It was great.
Get to know Matt.
If you guys have any, we can take whatever. Like,
well,
we're in a good spot right now. We're loving life.
I think a lot of people are confused with why so many people are saying there was cloudy piss at the focus.
And there were. So, just to clear that up, I mean, we went up first round, and we had a cloudy sample, but we didn't know it. Nobody knew. So 11 people had cloudy samples. And by the way, the M1 thing is the greatest thing to happen. Mm-hmm. We've been fighting for this. Let's just be honest. We've been crying about it for fucking years.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason for that. We're like all motor purists, and that's the only way. So when it came about, and we didn't have anything to do with it, people think, 4piston is a class sponsor. Like, we're the class sponsor because that shit was dying. And we said we wanted to get it back going, and we've put more money into it than anybody ever has. And
I remember speaking.
And we don't have it, dude. We're a small ass company.
Like, I can attest to that because me and Josh spoke right after you guys set up as the sponsor, because Josh was like, we want to take this shit to the next level. Like, we want to promote this.
But we legit didn't have anything to do with like that rule change. Now, had we voiced our opinion? Yeah.
Well,
had other people,
what's the rule change?
other racers said they wanted M1 100%. Like, I don't know if anybody is man enough to admit it, but I heard other people on other teams say that they wanted M1 too. When we had the fuel catastrophe at the prior event. So, you know, it all came about probably due to Fall Nationals the year before. Like, there was some drama there with fuel that, hell, we didn't even know about, man. But there was. And, you know, it came about. OGS implemented it without our opinion. We found out probably like an hour before the email went out. And we were happy as shit. We sent them a thing, said, we're 100% on board. That's what the hell needs to happen. And so it's going to have some growing pains. I think we went through those growing pains. Now it's done. Now you have a cloudy sample. That run's fucking out. And that's the way it should be. Yeah. I would have been happy. Like, our first run should have fucking been out. It should have been out. And it was our slowest shit, by the way. Like, it was cloudy because we had gas in the line because we're fucking stupid. Yeah. But we did some stupid shit. We had to clean up. If you don't have Teflon lines and you've had rubber lines with M5 in them for fucking 4 years, well, you know what? If you let it sit overnight, that shit's in the rubber. It's going to seep into that stuff. So
I've been thinking about.
You could have a clean sample right now, but 40 minutes later, it's got some stuff in it. So we did, you know, we did have a dirty sample first round. It even came up, like Roger showed me, but nobody knew. Nobody knew they had a dirty sample because by the time Roger tested it after. And by the way, Roger was doing this shit almost by himself. Him and Raymond were there. There's 2 tech guys missing because of family stuff. Like,
yeah, I don't know what
overwhelmed. And Roger's like by the book, man. He doesn't care who you are. He doesn't give a fuck if you're a class sponsor.
No, he doesn't.
You better follow the fucking rules. So that's what's great about them. Great about OGS. So what happened was everybody's already in the lanes by the time he tests the fuel after everybody drove off. So he's like, fuck, what do I do? He calls up to the front office and stuff, and they're trying to figure this shit out. It's the whole damn class. 3 cars passed, which was like Adrian, Brandon, and Tim. So everybody runs the second round, and about half of them again had the same thing.
Yep.
But Roger then did everybody's samples in front of them, and he said, "Luke, I want you to check this out." He pours it in. It didn't fucking do anything, and then all of a sudden he pours more in. All of a sudden it does. It clouded up, and it was light. He's like, "Look, this is a really lightly cloudy sample. Some of them are milk. Yours is really light, but you see what I'm talking about." I was like, "Yeah, I agree. We got to figure this shit out." So I said, "Is there any possible way you can come down, check us before we run third round qualifier?" Because we had just gone number 1.
Yeah.
I didn't want anything surrounding it, so we had him come down, check us beforehand. We tried to get as many people around as we could. We went up and ran the 69, which went number 1, and then we passed after that, and every round after that. So there was only 3 people that didn't have a clean sample before eliminations, and that's controversial. Like, honestly, they should have not been able to run. Like, straight up.
Yeah, but they don't want to.
They shouldn't have been able to run. Okay.
They don't want to knock people off.
But they said you have to pass first round. The problem was that they didn't know that they didn't pass, so they couldn't make adjustments.
Oh,
that's the problem.
No one was alerted.
I just want you to know what those guys went through. Like, Brandon went out and helped clean Aaron's fuel system out.
Well, I was with
ours.
I was with Adam, who cleaned everything. He replaced his fuel filter.
Adam took every line off and was scrubbing that shit, and Vinny gave him fuel filters. Yeah. Like, I told Adam these are like 2 of these cars were 10-second cars. These aren't guys that are out there freaking running nitro, okay? Right.
I've been thinking about doing a video with like a friend that owns a shop who has access to all these types of different hose lines and testing type shit to show what you need to do to clean out your fuel system.
Yeah. I mean, Adam had 5-year-old fuel lines and some old stuff, and honestly, he wasn't flushing the stuff quite right. It's new, you know. So we got to help some of these guys that haven't done it before. I mean, we've done it before, and we know what to do. We've done it for World Cup, and we still fucked it up first round because we're lazy. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it is what it is. But we passed every round, and I've seen guys on the internet saying, I saw guys like passing the fucking letter out and being little bitches and stuff and talking shit. That's fine. It's cool. You know what? We don't care. We got the results. We're holding the trophy. That's fine. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, those guys were standing. They may as well have been in our fucking engine bay on the last pass when they took the fuel sample, did it, pumped the displacement. That's fine. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's what they should be doing. That's where I'd be. Yeah. There's no harm, no foul. That's racing. It's competitive. It was a completely clear sample. That was, you know,
They run.
It's just the way it is. So there's a lot of talk and people repeating stuff, but this is what it needs to be. Like, we like the M1 stuff. And then, we've criticized the nitro stuff for years. People, if I sat here and told you that we haven't run nitro and we haven't done this, nobody would believe that shit.
No one believe you, right?
We went out and won a 5 when nobody else did. So we're just going to let that talk for
So are you with the belief that, like, using the nitro is a power adder? Like, people
we're all motor purists. We think it is, but honestly, there's a whole group of people that think that's fucking bad. Honestly, I think it's badass.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool. It's a whole new challenge. The cool thing about this class, you can build a car, and this is why this class will be bigger than sport front-wheel drive, okay? It's super competitive right now. People are building cars like there's a fraction of the cars that you're seeing right now. And you can go run OGS on M1 and you can have your cake and eat it too, because then you can go to another event like IFO. Mm-hmm. And you saw Jamie show up and number 2, number 3 qualifier, and then go out and break the world record at an open fuel event. You can run both. You can do both with the same engine, the same car, everything the same. And there's a lot of skill in what they're doing. There's a lot of skill in what Jamie's doing. What all these guys are, like Wendell. I mean, Wendell's taking there's 2 approaches to it too.
I was gonna say,
like, there's a nitro engine with a bunch of nitro, and then there's a badass all motor engine with a little bit of nitro. And I'm not gonna knock it. We fought it for years. We're gonna live with it. And right, if anybody wants to say anything.
That's why there's an OGS top 10 list, and that's why there's a non-OGS.
Hey, check the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
I think that's okay. I think OGS is going to be that purist all-motor racing, which is awesome. Yep. And I think some of these other events that struggle for turnout, it's okay to have a no rule and guys can go out there and just fuck around.
Yeah.
It's cool too.
And pushing the limits like that, like, drives it drives the industry. Mm-hmm. So it's got a positive spin for everybody too. You know what I'm saying?
There's two people are the world record holders right now, if you want to say it.
I see. Yeah,
you got whatever you're going to call it, and then you got
OGS.
Yeah, I think if they could just coin a phrase for what that kind of all motor racing is called, it'd be easier on the fans and stuff. Like, just call it outlaw all motor. Like, why not?
Yeah.
I see that the fans have wised up to it now. Like,
they have.
3-4 years ago, nobody knew that shit was going on.
Nope.
And now everybody's pretty wise.
I would say this started in FTW days. I think that's when this really. I mean, do you agree?
The fan.
At least longer than that.
Maybe
there was some shit back.
I'm privy to way too much
STW. Like, I remember the Toyota guys were like dead on a fucking protest. Okay, they had somebody nailed. They had somebody nailed.
Really?
They had somebody nailed on nitrous. Okay, and at the time it was this fucking close to coming out, and it didn't, because NHRA went away, and then it was NOPI, and then it became NOPI by NHRA.
There's been fucked up.
It was this close, man, to somebody getting hammered on the nitrous, and that wouldn't have been the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it's never been like a mystery, It's just the fans don't know as much, I think, because, like, how do you put that information out there without coming across as knocking someone, like, oh, he's only going fast because of the fuel? Like, it's not just the fuel, it's them learning how to work with the fuel. So,
I mean, you still got to get the car down the track. You still have to have an engine stay together. You still have to have a high horsepower engine, for the most part. So, like, I mean, these cars, I'm not going to talk about horsepower and stuff. Like, it's getting pretty competitive right now, but there's a big difference between the horsepower from a 9.5 car to a 9.2, 9.3 car. It's not 10 horsepower. It's not 20 horsepower. So
it's not just a vacuum.
We'll leave that to the guys that are doing it, and that's that.
Yeah. Well, I've learned recently the vacuum pump doesn't add that much power, and all these little tricks. There's a lot more tricks that you guys have than I ever assumed. Is he cutting Josh out?
No, I'm here. Anyway, I think we got the fuel thing covered. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, there's only so much that can ever be said online. Once you get to the events, that's how it happens there. It's your choice. Every racer has a choice of where they want to race, and everyone knows the rules going into it. If you were to show up at a Pan Am or an outlaw style event with your M1, you'd get your ass kicked. But you may be doing it just to test. You may not be racing them. You may be doing.
I mean, you'll see the days before World Cup. Like, I think you're going to see a small handful of guys probably test, if they do, on M1 just to see where they're at. And you'll see other guys trying to throw up a number to try to compete with Jamie. But
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen those guys throw up short track like that on without fuel.
Jamie's time was.
I think when they're on the fuel, they're worse. So I'd be shocked to see something better. But that's what it's all about, is breaking records. So I mean, if everybody's trying, that's what it's all about.
Well, look what
the rods flying and motherfuckers in the stands needing to wear helmets because people's valves be shooting out of their fucking heads like every pass.
It's crazy because Jamie almost didn't make it to that event. Actually, he almost didn't even make it.
Oh yeah. What? Count the dyno.
Hit the wall.
Yeah. Flew off the dyno. I don't even care if we're not supposed to tell anyone.
By the way, what's up, Jamie?
Yeah, Jamie's definitely in here. Flew off the dyno, screwed up the alignment.
Everybody check out that sale tomorrow, 9.22% off. Starts at 9:22 a.m.
Yeah.
Yo, I laughed for about
22 minutes.
When I got the text, I laughed for about 5 minutes, and I was like, "Are these guys fucking serious?"
Dude, there's been so many salty ass fucking things coming up, and we're just loving it, dude. We don't get mad about that shit. Like a comment, all these little guys. There's a couple guys in here hiding behind fake names and shit. We don't give a shit what they say. They can say whatever they want. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, show up to the track and we're gonna see what happens. Like, good luck.
Yeah.
You got a lot of good racers out there, man. A lot of good racers, and it's competitive, and everybody deserves credit.
I can't lie. I can't wait for someone to break the record because it's just going to motivate everyone else to go break it again.
Hey, we get motivated when we lose. We get motivated when we win. When these guys talk shit about us, we fucking work harder.
I have a feeling
and that's how everybody is. It's ego, like a lot of ego going on in this stuff. So,
And the thing that me and Monday were talking about this yesterday, the thing that works the best for everyone is for someone new to win an event, someone new to break a record. Like,
how about
you start seeing the same old person, it gets boring, it gets slow. Then new people come out and win events. It gives other people hope. They come out and race because they have hope.
Ken Voigt's gotten so much attention for going
fast
in a newer style car.
I saw some comments earlier, like people making fun of us for saying that it has Jeff Rosario's engine in it and shit like that. Like, because I know some guys can't get an engine to last past 3 dyno passes and shit. That's legit Jeff's engine. Like, straight up. It's Jeff's fucking engine. It is what it is. Take it or leave it. I mean, bought that fucking thing and put it in the car.
Yeah.
And that engine's older than grandma's dick.
The only thing,
and he went out
I'll be honest, there's no reason to not be. He told me that he said the only thing that I need to change at this point is probably cams.
We need to update the head on it, dude. It's got a old ass fucking head on it.
He's like, this is all
old cams. It has our RR4 road race cam in it. Like, we put that shit in people's cars that drive them every day.
I mean, when it does a burnout, you can tell it's just.
So wait, can I buy that for my Element?
Yeah, no. I saw you working on it in the driveway, man. You don't want to put them cams in.
I don't need something. I drove it today. I registered it yesterday. I drove it today. Holy fuck.
That car is so clean. Yeah. Like, that car is amazing. If you'd have asked me, can an 8th gen go fucking 9s like in this trim?
Yeah.
I mean, one of our guys that works for me on the other side, he was asking about his 8th gen and stuff, and I was like, you can't make that shit fast. You can't make that. Sure enough, man, he saw Ken's car pop up, and he's like, I thought you told me you couldn't make that shit fast.
Yeah. I think
that car is bad.
The only other one that's really been out is the IPG one that I don't remember much.
It went pretty fast too.
It did. It went like 10-1 or something.
Yeah, at the time it went pretty fast.
Yeah.
But to see this newer car going 9s, I love. I mean,
yeah.
The only other newer car we've seen on track was Norris's RSX, I guess. But that was turbo class. So
I think eventually you'll start seeing some, but
yeah,
we got a customer. What's that guy's name building the RSX? Rivera.
Yeah, he's got a Super 99.
Yeah, we got a guy building.
I know him.
Yeah,
it's a nice car.
Black and red.
Yep. It'd be nice to see just like some different stuff. So sorry, Monday, but sometimes the same EGs gets like, it's like EG,
I agree. It's nice to see different shit. You should have seen all the people all around Voigt's car. I mean, I'm sure you saw it. But in the pits, like, there's people all around that thing all day. They loved it.
Yeah. Your new wrap came out really good. I like it. Even all the
Oh
photos.
man, hey, we didn't tell Monday.
This guy.
So we hid it from Monday, and like legit, we always put customers first. It's like it's part of our downfall. Like we fucking sucked for a lot of years because we would work on our car the day before the race. We never went to the track. We still have never gone. We don't go to our local track. Our track is literally 10 minutes down the road. We don't go there. We just don't because we're cramming on customer engines up to the race. So about 2 or 3 days before the race, we rolled the carrot out and we're like, well, here's the fucking wrap Monday, and we showed it to him on a piece of paper, which the rendering, dude, it looked like a fucking shit drawn with a crayon.
It was like the wrap on like a fucking wagon. It didn't even look like a Honda.
It looked like a Red Ryder.
Wow.
And
these guys are downplaying.
No, this motherfucker was Monday's like butt hurt for like 2 days. Just
Come on. That's not true.
Like,
He almost went back to
that
furniture.
stupid as fuck.
He missed the carrot on that.
I'm going back to furniture.
So then they come in and they wrap the car, and they're supposed to be wrapped in a day. It took the dude 2.5 days. Like he was laying vinyl on the car when we pushed it in the trailer.
Wow.
Legit. Like it was fucked up. So it came out so much better than the rendering looked, but we've been through that before. Like when we did the rendering for Ramey's car, it looked kind of like a clown car. When we did the rendering for the RSX, it looked like a clown car. Like the way they have
you're telling me it looked like Sean's rendering? Because I saw Sean's rendering and I didn't even respond.
That's what
He texted it to me. I was like,
that's actually
exactly what it looked like.
That's the file they print off of. It's not like a fancy rendering where somebody draws a nice car.
Well, he had to explain it to me. He was like, oh, there's little 4-piston logos in there and stuff. And I was like,
the best rendering I ever saw was the one in Elcito's car. Like the guy that did that wrap. Yeah. He did the most badass rendering of it. It legit looked like the car.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that wrap was probably about $1,500 cheaper than all the other ones we bought.
Really?
that wrap held up good.
That guy like did a great job, and he did a really good rendering.
He's put stickers on that wrap and taken them off, and it stayed fine.
Yeah.
I find that crazy. Usually the wrap gets messed up, but so a lot of people want to know. They want to know more about the billet heads. I don't know if we discuss it too much or show them one or whatever.
I mean, we're not going to show anymore because it's like in the ready to go phase. But and it's going to be for sale. It's not special, okay, guys, like for people that can't have it. We did this ideally it was designed for the bigger engines so that we can do what we need to do, get a port that we need to have in order to make that engine
perform the way you want it to.
Capable of being.
Also, it was also something that we had a passion for and wanted to do. Yeah. Like, that is a project that was all ours.
It's a personal.
Having a billet head that we can change everything we want to and have no limits was something that we wanted for years. And this has been almost 2.5 years in the making of just gnawing away at this thing. Because again, we put customers first, and it's like just working on it for a passion project.
This is going to be a little like controversial too. Like, I don't want to talk shit, okay? There's been some companies.
The floor is yours.
They worked on fucking other shit, and now all of a sudden, abracadabra, I'm a cylinder head guy. Where they used to maybe, do other stuff, and there's been like, I mean, we've battled the fucking hashtag wars where people won't say shit. I've never been shy. Like, I don't always like being the face of being in front of shit, but I am. I'm number one to defend us 100% of the time at whatever cost. Okay. Yeah. And I'm just a regular dude. Okay. So shit happens.
Luke, don't worry. I've gotten a bad name myself for defending.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. So,
motherfucker's spilling beer.
This is a way, like, we design from scratch every head we do, period. And not everybody does that, okay? Like, they benchmark this, they start with this, they get to that. This was a way for us to show, here's a head from fucking scratch, everything we've got.
You're starting with a brick of metal.
It's not going to get copied because the expense on that head was astronomical. The number of hours in it, astronomical. The number of machine time is stupid. Like, that's what we're trying to work right now, is trying to, like, so you got a bill ahead. That's great. Well, in order to get it to the public, it's got to be somewhat affordable. It cannot be $10,000. It has to be half that, okay, or less. So we have to get the machine time down, and we got fast machines. Like, we don't have some Walmart motherfucking machines here, okay?
Yeah.
We got some big fucking spindles and high horsepower. And we're blasting.
That's some geek shit right there.
Yeah, like, you can tell by the cuts and you can tell by the shit. Anybody who knows anything about machining looks at our shit and they know what the fucking deal is.
Yeah.
That shit, we have to cut that shit at a certain speed in order to make $1, okay? In order to make it affordable for the customer.
Yep.
So,
machine time is a cost.
right. So that's where we're at right now, is trying to get it to where the customer can afford it. Like, that machine gets paid by the hour just like anybody else, okay? It's an employee. It makes X amount of dollars an hour.
And are you trying to stick to just K series stuff, all motor stuff?
No, we have a B series.
So you do
Absolutely.
B
Both.
series.
Yeah, done. You'll see
B
it.
series cylinder head.
Done. Sport drive, get ready. And I know, and you know what? It's not indestructible. Motherfuckers are going to be melting that shit down. I've seen some of the way you guys tune. I mean, sounds like duck hunt going down the fucking track.
You have to give one to Jamie to test the limits at first.
He doesn't break anything. Another comment. Oh, Jamie's been running the same engine for 3 years. No, he hasn't been running the same engine for 3 years. He has 2 seasons on that engine, and we replaced the crank in it and woke up. We built that shit on the trailer floor in the mud. All his dudes out in the rain.
I was out there.
Getting the engine out of the car, and then we built it in the trailer floor in the dark. It was badass.
I remember.
Yeah, we had to switch out a crank that broke. But other than that, like, that engine, it's the same engine, same
Monday
head,
got
same
metal
cam,
in his splinter. Well,
yeah. So it got refreshed at that point.
Take it out.
It also got refreshed recently, right before Honda Day. You know,
Big Squatton's asking for the billet D.
yeah, the billet D. Let me know when regular D series guys call and be like, so it's $900.
That's Kevin from Speed Factory. Kevin from Speed Factory. You're gonna do a full B series billet motor between Speed Factory and you guys.
Yeah,
that'll be pretty bad.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Not D series, B series. Yeah. I mean, it'll be expensive.
awesome, and the way we did it is, you'll see when it comes out. I'm not going to say shit. It's designed to save people money. Period.
Yeah.
It's designed to save people money.
You've given me too much information already, but I know.
Actually, I gotta go pee. I'm gonna talk too much.
The people that are going to do it, though, you're going to be blown away by what they have up their sleeve. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the billet stuff just because it's different. Something else to push the limits with. You know, like you guys said, it's so unrealistically unaffordable to like R&D and produce that even. So I'm glad you guys are doing it. You know, I think everyone's excited to see what Speed Factory does with their billet block as well. So once we combine the two, that shit'll be crazy.
Oh yeah.
So you're not gonna put no nitro in the Carrot? You don't want to J5 her up and
Oh shit.
come.
No, I don't think so. I think we really enjoy this M1 class racing type shit. I mean, it's a totally different vibe, I guess, when it comes to like racing. I feel like.
I think I've been probably the biggest pusher for pure methanol and racing M1 because engines last longer. The racing ends up being more fun because everybody's closer. Because it's not about who's got the biggest balls and doesn't care if they blow up this fast.
The nitro is really hard on your engine.
It's
very
got
hard.
10 grand?
It's about who builds the best engine. And it's about who puts the most heart and soul into the engine.
Yep.
And that's why I've been pushing it so much, because I am an all-motor purist from day one.
I think the issues coming up with the cloudiness and the that's why it's seeming like, is nitro the way to go? Should we just have no rules? But as soon as it's like this next H-Day event, when they start DQing guys for just a slight cloudiness,
Right.
You're gonna go by the Teflon lines. You're gonna make sure to drain your system properly.
And the mistake we made in the first round is we tested our own fuel before we went up. We only put in maybe a third of the amount of water compared to fuel that we had, and it didn't cloud.
Yeah.
When we got up there and they were doing 50-50, maybe that was a rookie mistake and we should have known better. But you do 50-50 and then it clouds a little bit because we had gas in our lines. So we had
Pump
checked
gas.
everyone in our pits with a third water and the rest fuel, and it passed.
Yeah.
Then
And
we
what-
got the first round at the
Just to
end.
be clear, what kind of water are you using?
Uh,
Oh, that
Like
shit
this-
out the RV sink.
we only-
Really?
We used
We
real.
used Fiji.
Yeah. Like
No, it's gotta-
we use distilled water, but if you,
It's
I'll
gotta
tell you
be
what,
distilled.
no fluoride. If
Yeah.
you pour M1 into a brand new plastic can, it's fucking done. The chemicals in that from the plastic,
Yeah, that can be a problem.
yeah,
There's a lot
from the
of
polyethylene will get in there and cloud it up. So, you know,
Pour it
that was
directly
another
with that.
thing too. Like I didn't tell Monday, hey, you have to use these brand new unopened cans. Like we had M1, we got M1. We have because of the dyno, the engine dyno.
Yep.
We got more methanol around here. Like anybody throws a match at our building, this motherfucker's going up. we got
No
yeah,
smoke.
we got
Hey,
this whole bitch on
don't
fire.
encourage them.
We got this whole thing on fire.
No
So we
smoking
got a
in
lot
this
of fuel
house.
in here, and so we dynoed on shit that around here you can drive up to a gas pump.
Boss Waterfield,
Yeah.
Deer Park.
Around here
Deer
you can
Park
drive
what?
up to a pump and put your credit card in and get methanol.
Yeah.
Really?
We got
At many places.
sprint car racing.
But is it good?
All
Have you
in one.
measured it?
Huh?
It's good. It's good too. You measured it? Like it's
I mean,
good.
it makes the same. It's fucking methanol.
Yeah.
Methanol's methanol.
Right.
It makes
Oh,
the
it's
same
not.
power, but there can be small contaminants.
That shit.
That's
a lot
what
of
I
that
mean.
shit comes from the same place. So like, we have VP in Terre Haute.
We don't
The
have that.
tanks are filled by
It's
a
about
truck.
an hour south of us.
So a truck goes and picks up a tanker full of VP and dumps it in these gas pumps, just like a regular gas station. You can go put your car. I can go there right now.
24 hours a
We can
day.
go at midnight, slide a card in,
Yeah.
pump methanol.
I know we have a
So,
lot of ethanol
We'll
stations.
dyno
Some
on
of
that
them-
stuff
some
because
of
it's
them are bad.
fucking $2.80 a gallon.
Now, ethanol, we don't have a ton of ethanol. I wouldn't say that. I mean, we do have a
we
major.
have corn.
We have a major ethanol plant right by us, though. You know that?
Yeah.
Out west.
Yeah.
I mean, I run the type of run ethanol. We fill up right here. Like we have the ethanol
I guess
station.
probably more than most places.
Someone asked how much octane booster do you use?
Lots, tons,
Huh?
so much.
I'm just
Energy
kidding.
drinks.
That
Josh
was my own
pours
question.
monsters and everything.
None if you want to pass the water test.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Poor
But
Mom.
no,
Voted.
seriously, the water test is the best thing that's happened. And you
Yeah.
will see that the racing is extremely competitive,
Mile per hour.
really fun. You're going to see the mile per hour is really close. And the racing is going to be awesome from now on.
Yeah, I
think
mean,
now
it
that-
was 139 miles an hour. Was like two guys ran that. Like that was the top. You saw 137, 138, 139. You didn't
Yeah.
see 148 and 139.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Just look at the results, and people are smart. People aren't stupid.
yeah, 136 is it's 137 maybe. Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing too crazy.
I mean, a gear. Somebody shifting their car slow can drop 2 miles an hour.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then I'd rather
They
see
get on Monday
maybe-
about first round. Can you grow the gears a little better? They're like,
I'm usually asleep on the first round. Not gonna lie. I'm
Some people are
lazy screw.
asking. People are asking what's J5. J5 is Jamie Marsh's custom mixture.
yeah, you'd be shocked. Like everybody wants that right now. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because I'm not gonna act like I know what it is.
Nobody knows.
I know the weight of it. So don't think that it's a bunch.
I don't think it's a bunch.
He's
because
probably using less than anyone on that list.
if you go watch,
I'd bet $5,000 on that. And I'm one of those guys that like bets more than he has. Josh always gets on me about it. He's like I go up to a roulette table and I'm like, put 1,000 on red, and I really only got $200 in my pocket. So whenever we want to bet something, I'm like, I bet you $10,000, and Josh is like, how about $12?
Yeah.
yeah.
How about
As a case of
1,000?
beer. In my last video of when the IFO all motor class video that I just posted, at the end of it, you could see Jamie drive by me and shoot a puff of smoke out, and I was like, I mean, I worked for FTW at one point. That shit stinks. And in front of Jamie's car, he shot the smoke at me, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, unless he's got a masking agent of some sort in there to
No,
cover
it
up
doesn't
that
have that much
stuff.
in
but-
it. You'd
Yeah.
be shocked. You'd be blown away.
That's what
I'm
he
not
says to
saying
me.
anything. That's Jamie's deal. Jamie has said more about what he's doing than anybody else. Everybody else tried to hide it. Oh yeah, we're running M5. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're gonna try to have Jamie on, but
he says
just so
exactly
everyone knows,
what he's
Jamie
doing.
is an actual chemist.
He is in
He
fact
is.
a chemist.
Not only that, but he's
Like, on
posted his time
paper.
charts before, with this, with that. Like he's
I mean,
he's an open book. So just ask him.
I'm not a fan of screenshots, but I've seen screenshots of his in the all motor group chat, whatever that is. I'm not in it, but I've seen screenshots of him like spewing information and knowledge to the competitors that are in there.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what? People take some of this shit too seriously, and it's competitive right now, so we're probably not going to say as much. Like right now, I feel like we're in a good position. We
save it
people
for the
can
winter.
say it like it is. We fucking beat the blocks off everybody at the last race. The next race, we could suck.
So
we might go out there and make all the wrong decisions. Okay.
So you have no plans of running? I know Matt doesn't want to drive a car with any nitro.
Running what?
Running nitro stuff like you guys.
We're not going to. Like the first time we went 954, everybody, oh, they were using nitro. Oh, they were on this. They were on that. I mean, even the guys in our own pits, like, I'll be honest, Alex at the race goes, did you guys run fuel on that pass? Because we kept getting faster. Like, we went to 68, and we went to 64, and then we went to that 54.
Shit, I said it on the live video. Or actually, I wasn't live.
Yeah. We
But
did.
I remember saying, they better check that car.
It was good air. Like, the
Because
track
we were
was
fine.
not there. The track was shit, so we spun. So we got about probably another mile an hour out of that. The track was not prepped at all. In fact, the Volkswagen went down the track before that and sprayed like a field of oil. So we spun, and then the air was good. Like, we had another 1,500 foot less DA than what we had out here at H-Day. So,
yeah.
Like, I didn't think anything. Like, people can say what they want. We were in the number. I don't give a shit. We worked hard on it, and then we came back and worked on the car even more.
Yeah,
so
we worked really hard on this car. I mean, we come back after every race and we change and we swap parts and we are constantly tuning on this car.
yeah.
I think those IFO events
Yeah,
really helped you out. I think
Yes.
that going to them to learn more about the car. And
Oh, for sure. I mean, look how the car short tracks. Like, everybody says, oh, well, I want that Motec file.
When we first started,
I don't think it'll
the car,
help.
it was a
I don't think
budget
it'll help.
car, and we put all budget parts on it, but I mean, we've evolved from that point, and we've constantly upgraded and changed things. We've taken weight out.
But that's natural. That's
hours
natural
and hours
progression.
just talking about what to do on the car to help improve it and make it go.
Yeah.
I'd
I
say
mean,
that's
we worked
natural
hard on
progression.
it, but going that 59 out there in that shitty-ass weather, I think validates the 54 a little more. But honestly, who gives a shit? Nobody cares. The only person thinking about that's us.
Yeah.
Other people don't give a shit what we were in.
No. Most people can't tell you what any cars run except for Sean
Oh,
Rainey.
trust me. Everybody in this sport's about ego. It's all about themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, let's just be honest. Fucking-
Yeah. That is the most honest thing said tonight. It's not even just this sport, though. At this point, society almost seems to be run that way.
Yeah.
Where they want their rules. Everyone wants rules written around their lives and their policies.
But it's
No.
okay. Like, that's part of what fuels this sport. And this all motor class, man, it's going to grow huge.
I do want.
We
you
had
guys to
29 cars, okay, verbally,
For-
signed up for
come.
H
Yeah,
Day.
confirm.
Weather
Confirm
played
people.
a huge part in that. People just couldn't drive the long distances. Like,
Weather killed.
Alex had 4 cars.
H-Day didn't do bad. The weatherman did bad, and he screwed the event. He screwed all of us.
There was like everywhere around it was raining. There was like a little bowl of
Yep. That's what I said. I said that to everyone too. I said, I've been on my way to Maryland where it's pouring, raining the whole time. I get to those hilly roads before you pull in. It's raining at the top of them, but not at the bottom of them. I was like, just go. Always go to Maryland. I do want you guys to come to a nitro style event, like
we will.
Pan-Ams. Not to race, but just to just see like how it's going down.
We'll come to race.
Yeah.
It's not going to be right now, but we
Whoop. Monday's like
no, we will, and we'll see how we do.
yeah, a little R&D on one of
If
those
anybody
zones.
thinks that we don't know anything about nitro, the top
Yeah.
fuel teams are 10 minutes away.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure you got
we
a
got
lot
a
of
good
access.
computer. We got a good computer. We can punch a couple things in and make a pass. Like, it's not rocket science. we have not done a lot of it. I'll tell you that. Now, to say, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we've never done that. Oh, my God. Like, I remember driving out to Chris Miller's place when it first said it. They couldn't believe we're still running M1.
Yeah.
And you know, we put FTW in the car and made some more power that night. And then at the first event, it was around the first time that a lot of people were messing with whatever that shit was, that bathtub gin bullshit. And then, you know, we melted a couple plugs and other, you know, at the times, the other guys in the other cars, they had melted a couple plugs and stuff like that. So I don't want to say we were a little discouraged by it. We didn't have the money to blow shit up. We didn't have the money to fuck that shit up. And we never have. Like, we've always put the money back to other people.
Even the richest guys out there don't want to blow their money out.
No, people don't want to do that
consistent
shit.
Well, I like that M1 because it's consistent.
We're always worried about making sure we put money back into import drag racing. Like, we support more racers.
That's why I stay wearing a BC hat, mainly because they are the presenting sponsor of H-Day.
They're a good company.
I don't own a single BC product. I don't have a motor that needs a BC crank, but I wear this hat and my red hat. I've been wearing those more than any hat. And I have a 4piston hat, and you guys are great.
No, those guys are good too.
These guys are taking a huge chunk.
We're friends with them. It's a good company, and they've supported the sport. So you got to stick by them. So
all right, I got a real question for you. Do you think that an event would survive? Like, would OGS All Motor survive if they had a nitro class and a M1?
No way.
No.
I don't think so. I think what would happen is people that don't know how to tune with the fuel are going to start blowing out. And these guys can't afford 3 engines. They can afford 1 engine.
Yeah.
And especially if they're buying it from someone and not assembling it themselves, they can afford 1 engine. So if they make 1 tuning snafu, then the engine's going to blow up.
Yeah.
And then what are they going to do? They're going to be out for the next 6 or 7 months.
I feel like
they're going to do that twice before they hang it up.
Yeah, they're going to do some other shit.
I mean, you saw it. You saw the class go to nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it was.
When I got involved with this, Pro Stock still had 5 to 7 cars. Rui was still coming down. Drag Cartel would come out. Every so often you'd get some Jeff Rosario with his gray car. There was a
same thing happened to that class.
And, yeah.
It got out of control. That class was too expensive. I wish it was back, man. Like, we still have, we have a brand new RSX.
Yeah. We still have the Insight.
Brand new.
We still have the Insight. Norris still
not
has
gonna
the
run
Insight.
them. What's the fucking point?
Norris has the Insight too, right? So, I mean.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is,
I think you guys own
someday it'll
them
get
because
there.
they're not valuable anymore.
I'll have customers call and are like, I want 500. And I'm like, you know, and I tell them, like, well, here's an engine that'll make 400 and it costs this much money. They're like, no, I want 500. And I'm like, I don't even know what to say at that point. Like, and I've seen other people tell them, oh, yeah, that's easy. You're going to make 500. But that's cool if you make it on the dyno and then you go run 2 passes and then you kick a fucking rod or something. Like,
talking 500 all motor, though?
Absolutely.
That people
people mix that much. So
I feel like that's like
I mean, people take 99s that make 360 and fuel them up to 520. So, like,
wow.
The reality is, where are they at now? They're not a lot of those guys are racing right now. They're parked with their cars sitting in the garage because they blew up so much shit they can't afford to do it again.
They have unrealistic goals starting out, you know?
Yeah,
like,
and not only that, you got to get the car, you have to get the car set up. Well, if I told people how much power we had to run the 9.5s, I guarantee you, I don't know, we got 168 people on there, 160 of them wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
8 people thinking they believe it.
I mean, that's just normal. If I say something, there's probably about 8 people going to believe that shit.
Yeah. Fuck it. Don't matter. As long as you believe in what you're doing, man, you know, like, I've gotten to talk to Jamie a lot, and he hasn't paid no mind to nothing. You know, sometimes I wish he would a little, but he doesn't. He didn't even make a post about breaking his own record for like a good day and a half after. I almost sent him a picture. That's why I made the Moon Man thing, because I was like, he's safely arrived on the moon because he's Jamie's missing.
Dude, it was badass. Hey, I was nervous as fuck watching that race. Like the race before that when he lines up against Norris. I got all hyped up, you know, of course.
Were you watching the live?
There's a rift there, so I got all a little hyped up, and then he goes down the track, and then the next thing comes around, and he's lined up against Wendell.
You were definitely watching the live feed, because I remember seeing one of your comments and being like, what the fuck, Luke? Why are you talking so much shit?
I said one thing.
The blow-up package.
So then the next, trust me, man, it's no love lost. It's gone both ways. So don't point me out to be a bad guy.
No, it's definitely.
So the next pass comes up against Wendell, and you know Wendell's been a customer in the past. He's a good dude. Like, dude's working hard. He's got a badass fucking car. That shit rolls.
Wendell's.
It's bad. What he's doing, it's not all motor to me. It's fucking awesome though.
I can't lie.
In those set of rules, he's running what the hell you're allowed to run.
I feel bad because realistically, Wendell deserves a lot more credit for what he did.
Oh, he gets a lot of credit, dude. He's got a lot of fans.
But I'm just saying, from what he did next to Jamie's, like what we got to experience. And I hope you go watch the video of the rounds, because I turn around, I'm like, it's silent in here because it was empty. There was maybe 20 to 30 people that saw Jamie and Wendell do what they did that night in person. I feel super lucky to have stood right there next to it, because there was only like 10. I could name maybe 10 people that were there, in the stands included. And, for Wendell to be right fucking there with him was mind blowing.
No, it was awesome. Like the car's badass and it's going rounds.
I bet you Jamie looked over, and I bet you Jamie didn't think he was on a 22 pass because he had Wendell right next to him. He probably thought, oh, we just went side by side 40s or 30s or something.
Yeah. It looked like the second gear he was pretty far out, but honestly, Wendell had a better pass. He went a 940. That's hauling shit, man.
It's really
That's
good.
a lot of power. It's hooking. It's not just a lot of power. It's hooking the car up.
Did he go 4.0 beside him?
He went a 4.0. No, he did a 4.0 like the pass before, maybe, or two passes before.
Yeah. But it was just
flying,
cool.
dude. The car's awesome. I wish he'd race, some more like of the other events, because we need more cars.
Yeah.
I mean,
he doesn't want to play that M1 game though.
Who cares? Just run it. Everybody knows he's fast on the sauce.
Yeah.
I read it on the license plate.
Yeah. I think it's great that
the sauce.
I don't know how it got referred to as the sauce, but I'm not complaining. The amount of sauce and sauce spot in the sport is disgusting.
Yeah, it was a badass pass, but honestly, when I saw that 22 come up, I was even shocked. Like we knew he was going to run some numbers, because we've seen numbers in the past where the car was on a pass and this went wrong or that went wrong. We know the car is going to go numbers.
It was different than when Sean went 7.
He shocked us, dude. As soon as he left, I was like, "That's a fucking hit right there." I was thinking a 31, a 30. As soon as it left,
you could tell the way I say the time. I say it. My voice is very unsure, and I even said the mile per hour wrong because I was so like, "Am I reading the right scoreboard right now? Does that say 9.2? Like, is that the right car?"
Dude, everybody on the line.
I was like, am I still in the same place?
Like, what the fuck was that?
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's gonna. I bet money right now. Anybody wants to bet? Anybody likes to bet money? I'll bet money it goes faster.
I will too.
In a couple weeks.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you, he had EK lower control arms on it because he fucked them up. He had fucking some oddball suspension, I think, on there because he bent something up flying off the dyno. The fender was broken, so I don't know if that affected his aero. I mean, he had a handful of injuries going into that race, and he still came out way on top. Tim Gray keeps saying, check the cage for nitrous, and I agree.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we need to bring back the protest. Okay, it needs to not be a shameful thing to protest cars. Like, I saw Maps talking shit about how we had a vacuum pump because Monday was back there running a vibrator. Pump. Like, we started the car up and he's. No, Monday was hum.
Just drilling away.
He was using it on somebody's mom over there. But like, protest us.
Yeah.
Come check the fucking car.
Keep vibing, bro.
Protest us. And you know what? Here's how protest works. You put up the money, $200, $400, whatever it is. And when you fucking lose, I get your money.
Yeah, we get to go have a steak dinner. Yeah. It sounds fucking awesome to me.
That should happen.
So let's do it. It shouldn't be shameful to protest. If you think somebody is doing something, that's what protesting is for.
Earlier this year, you're basically paying for the other team to tear their shit apart. You're paying the labor rate of you 3 guys to work on the car.
Not just that, like the whole hassle,
Just to see.
humiliation, the bullshit, the risk. So, you know,
It goes
shouldn't
both
be
ways.
shameful. If you think I have a vacuum pump on this car, come tear that bitch apart, and then afterwards I get your money.
I'll tell you this: nothing I hate more than a fucking Monday morning.
Pull the vacuum pump out. Where's it at?
The Monday morning protesters.
It can't even fit in that fucking car.
Yeah, you're right. If you had something to say,
Say of the track.
then you should have said it, and we
don't
can take care of it right there. I'm
Yeah.
not going to take offense to it.
So right now, people are doing this crybaby shit behind closed doors. You know, honestly, there's people that are friendly to our faces. I had a guy today that gave us a fucking like, "Hey, what's up, badass pass? That was a fast ass pass," talking shit about us today for no reason.
On a different post.
I'm fine with it. Who cares? I knew that was gonna happen.
I think.
But the thing is, like,
there's a lot of
if you protest, it's out in the open. You know who protested you. That's racing. It's not offensive.
Yep.
And then, let me see that.
Hey, the embarrassment
This vacuum pump right here,
Yeah.
it won't fit anywhere in that motherfucking car, okay?
That's
we got lots of shit like this. Like, here.
That's pretty big.
And what was in that video was Monday humming, and it sounded like the vibrator we were using on old boy's mom.
What video?
There was a video. There was a video where we started the car up, and everybody's talking about, oh, there's a vacuum pump on that car.
Oh, like in the shop? Like you started in the shop?
Yeah, it was a startup video. Me and us and Brandon have a joke going on because a lot of people put their hand over the exhaust and they're feeling the exhaust.
Yeah, it's really firing on all fucking three right now.
Oh yeah, I could feel it, bro. All the valves are working. Yeah. Yeah.
So
how about when they put a blanket or something? They put like a cloth over it. They're like, oh, it's flapping. Yeah, we're good.
Sitting on all three. So whenever we start a car, we always either post up or we'll send Brandon a separate video with our hand over the exhaust. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
And I guess there sounded like there was something in the background that everybody was guessing on, but you know what? I guess that's what makes it fun too. You can watch these videos and try to guess what the fuck's going on.
How many views did that video get though? Because if
I don't know. I got a lot of shit talking.
Yeah.
So someone just asked, what does the vacuum pump do? What are you gaining?
You can, if you pull vacuum out of the crankcase, you can make some more horsepower. So like,
where does it hook up to? Where do the lines on a vacuum pump hook up to? The valve cover.
Yeah.
Crankcase.
Yeah.
I know.
One to the block, one to the valve cover.
That's why people run dry sumps a lot of times. Like in road racing, we run dry sumps because we need the oiling. We need solid oil pressure under G-forces, under the G-forces of braking and hard cornering and acceleration.
Justin just crashed.
In drag racing, you know, we're trying to pull some vacuum on the engine. You can make a little bit of horsepower. So.
What's the most that a vacuum pump's gonna make? I mean, if it made 15, that would be wild.
That'd be amazing. These engines leak a lot. So it's hard to get them sealed up. If you put some special seals in them and things like that, you can get them sealed up. There are people that have run vacuum pumps at World Cup. I'll just be straight up. There have, like, somebody left theirs on in the staging lanes, and they thought their power was off. They thought people told them their fuel pump was on. You could hear the fucking pump. It was a slow fucking car, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But the vacuum pump may be worth 5 to 8 if you're lucky. If you have everything sealed up.
So if at most.
But 5 to 8's a lot. Like, we're fighting for that shit.
Yeah,
you know?
of course, but it's not worth. You're not. Just so everyone's clear, OGS World Cup, you're not allowed to have a vacuum.
No, and by the way, so
outlawed
we went through OGS Tech and like catch can. This all came up when Dave from Skunk 2 put up that diagram of the catch can under the header with the vacuum pump in it. That was actually, I mean, people were doing that.
I know who made it.
But OGS has made us take our breathers off our catch can every time we go through Tech.
They checked Jake Gavio's car out at some event. They checked in his catch.
Yeah,
I remember that.
First H day, our catch can was full of oil from running the other ECU, which had a random misfire. That's why we got rid of it at random. So that other ECU, like we'd fill that catch can up, and we didn't change the oil between races. So it had a lot of oil in that catch can. They actually made us go drain it so they could look inside of it.
Yeah,
like they're on it, man. They don't play shit.
Yeah.
Like,
so the reason we have a vacuum pump is because on the engine dyno, what we were trying to decide was whether a dry sump on a pro stock car. That's the originally why we even got a vacuum pump.
And they're legal. They are legal
Worthwhile.
on a pro stock car. You're allowed to have a vacuum pump on the
Yeah,
car.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Rules on that.
Just-
Right.
I'm
So
not
if you run the
telling
dry
you,
sump, the dry
I'm
sump
telling
needs
the people.
vacuum.
Yeah.
But there's horsepower to turn that oil pump too. Like, turn around. There's this oil pump right here. This is a daily engineering. Can you see this? You can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's belt driven.
So you see this pump right here? It's
Yeah.
got a daily engineering pump on it. And we play with different, it's fine, oil pumps and stuff to try to, there's straight gear pumps, there's helical pumps, there's different kind of gear pumps, and we're trying to get the least resistance possible, but with the most vacuum. And so essentially, we're trying to make horsepower. I've had a shitty old fucking 15-year-old pump we had make more horsepower than a brand new helical pump.
How much does this pump kit cost? Because this guy wants to buy one. He needs the 5
Yeah,
horsepower.
a dry sump's going to be anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000, depending on what kind of pump and pan. A vacuum pump like that, I don't know. I bought that fucking thing used off of Xenocron that they had on an all-motor car.
Still probably cost you a pretty.
What was that, 3 years ago?
I mean,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
about $1,800.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Really?
Yeah,
You'd be
I
better
bought
off
that
doing-
off of them to try here on the engine dyno, and
trying to make it clear
Literally
to the other people that you'd be better off doing a lot more things before putting a vacuum pump on a car.
Yes.
good luck hiding it right now.
Yeah.
OGS is smart to it.
Well, even
Either
without
way.
hiding it, even if you were a bracket racer or a street racer, the vacuum pump is once you've maxed everything out, you can't get shit out of your car. The suspension's
Yeah.
good. The motor's as good as
You
it
better
gets.
have
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
4-piston that you can have, so you have the most horsepower that anyone could have.
Once you have the billet block and the fucking.
Hey,
And then maybe think about
you know
it.
what? I wish everybody was allowed to run a dry sump. The bad part is it adds cost to the class.
Yeah.
The good part is I see guys taking off with running fucking 3.5 quarts of oil, dropping their oil pressure down off the line in first gear, and then get to the end of the track. Sport front guys especially hit the chutes and let their engine run, and you'll see their oil pressure tank.
Yeah.
So
True.
a dry sump would eliminate a lot of that. You'd have positive oil pressure all the time.
I've never actually thought about how much the oil pressure would change just due to momentum and
Yeah.
chassis.
It's everything. So you want to make your engines live longer. Make sure you get your oil system working right.
That's a good point. But so now if we add a dry sump rule, you're allowed to have dry sumps. Well, 4-piston, they got money, they're gonna have it. Preunto got money, they're gonna have it.
That's the
Close
problem.
got money,
That's
they're
the
gonna have
problem.
it. So then what does Adam Hall do? What does Jerome Harris do? What does Ken Voight's got money, but
Yeah.
what does Brandon Jefferson do? Spend $2,000 to keep up?
Yeah, they'll eventually get them, but therein lies the problem
Mhm.
in that now we're got teams that have to save up 2 years to get one. And then you have teams that are testing 5 different ones to make the most power. So it's all relative.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, we don't have a bunch of money to spend on the car.
It's similar to the sport front guys wanting the fuel pump, mechanical fuel pump, where it's going to increase the price, but it might increase the longevity of some of the.
Well, I still say that methanol would be the best thing to happen to sport front wheel drive. That's my personal opinion, not everyone's, but it would save a lot of parts because you're going to see EGTs go down, you're going to see the tuning window open up,
Yeah.
and you're not going to have as many people shooting ducks going down the track.
They're just going to slow them down, though.
Well, they're going to go fast.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, well,
It is
They
gonna-
will. They
You
will.
think they'll go faster?
They will gain a lot of power going to
Yeah.
methanol.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
for sure.
a lot. And honestly, they'll make more on M1 than they will on M5.
What's stopping them?
Too much heat. There's too much heat with M5 on a big at 65 pounds of boost. Like the engines will last longer and make more power with M1.
What's stopping it?
Cost.
People
think
have to upgrade their fuel systems.
Yeah.
That's really, I think, the only thing that's stopping it.
And methanol's not street. Remember,
Do you
methanol wasn't allowed in all
Do
motor
you need
for
a
years.
mechanical pump for the meth? Would you?
Would what?
Would you need a mechanical pump to run meth?
You don't have to have a mechanical pump, but it's the best. I mean, you can move a lot of fuel with it.
Yeah. It's a better, It's
It'd probably be cheaper than the proper electric pump.
About so. Hey, let me put it this way:
You're
a
right.
mechanical pump costs
And
less
would
than a
last
welding.
longer. The mechanical pump's not going to break on you, probably. The
A
electric
mechanical
pump will.
lasts. It costs less than a Weldon
Holy
for
shit.
sure. Yeah, $700. You get a
We only
good
have 1 minute left. What the fuck? Why are we burning through these hours?
That's good, dude. Honestly, these guys are probably bored at this point.
This has been a good interview so far. There's been a lot of talk. Well, we only have a minute left with 50 seconds left. I appreciate you guys giving me this much time. This has been great. Glad that you guys won. Congratulations again, Matt Monday. Next time you win, we could definitely get back on and do it again. We're kind of new to this live thing. We're only doing it with people that win. So that's the reason that these guys got on tonight.
Hey, so we get to do one again after World Cup?
Yeah, we'll be back on after World Cup.
If you win World Cup, I'll gladly have you guys
let's
back
grudge
on.
race. Let's grudge race. Who's got the money?
Who's got the money?
Who's got the money?
Luke's got $10,012.
I got stacks of money that says we're gonna fucking send that shit.
You guys are crazy.
Well, not stacks. We're gonna lower that.
Like $12. $12.
We could do more, but I think we'll save it for next time. Man, I don't know what to say.
Thanks, man.
Stay saucy.
Thank
Stay
you.
saucy.
Stay saucy. Check
Saucy.
out Piston.
Stay saucy.
Stay saucy. Adios, everybody.